Because that's
Yeah,
important.
right.
Millie is 1,500.
This, it just says one
Wow,
point
that's
five
quite a
volts
lot.
LR
Says
six.
MN,
No amps.
Okay, milliamps,
1,500.
no, this says MN 1500.
And what?
MN. It
MN.
doesn't say MA.
I can see it now.
Well, I'll have to look that
Yeah.
up, but if it says milli what, M what?
MN.
MN.
Is it Nancy?
Milli nano.
Like
Is that
Minnesota.
Anyway.
or in
We're kind of getting off the question. Here, Jack, this is not going to increase voltage now, but what will, let's say, I don't know what these are.
Yeah.
Let's say one little battery puts out 2 amps current.
Okay.
What are we going to get now?
That's it.
We get the same voltage, but now your amps will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be 8 amps. Going to put out 8 amps.
Okay.
See, it even says it on the back there.
Oh, yeah.
MN.
Does it say how many amps?
No, it just says MV.
Usually it says MAH or something, milliamp hours or something.
Yeah, your LiPo batteries all have it on the one.
Right.
Again, when you're flying a drone, if you're flying a drone from here to there, you're going to use up the current, the milliamp hours. So you've got to know.
You gotta know
you're
when they're
get
gonna
it
play
back.
out.
You fly an hour down the road and it takes 10 milliamp hours to go a mile, you ain't going to get it back.
Mhm.
So you better have it calculated or a meter that reads it for you. It says, you know, I've got enough. And a lot of drones will have an automatic return. They'll tell you, they'll cut off and say, I can't go any further. Okay?
We just don't fly that far.
Okay.
Train your dog to go get it.
Yeah.
Fetch.
Fetch.
Roy had a question on this. About this, which we all should be using surge protectors, right?
Right.
And what happens if you don't use a surge protector at your house?
You're gonna burn up.
Well, lightning can do nasty things.
If lightning
to you.
hits an electrical box near you,
Surges, yeah.
you're gonna get what?
Surge.
Burns up.
A very big surge. Good. So anyway, when you buy a surge protector, you've got to decide what you're trying to protect. So Roy bought this, and his question is here on this one, this side is a USB. This side is USB too. But one of them is 2.1 amps and one of them is 1.0 amps.
So what's the difference?
Why would that be?
One's for the tablet, one's for the cell phone.
You gave me the answer. Roy found that answer last night on at my house. He looked on one of them that I have on the floor. It says, so,
So the tablet 2.1, the tablet?
I don't know, what is it, Roy?
Would that be the size
What
of
it
the
is?
batteries?
I think so.
I don't know. All I know is when I had a tablet and it needed a new battery,
Yeah.
I took it in, the guy put a new battery in. Got it home 2 days later, it wouldn't charge. So I took it back, and he says, are you using the right adapter? I said, well, I thought they were all the same. No, he said, they're not the same. So, again, you have to look at the label on this stuff. So now I got the right adapter, and I charged it last night after using it, working fine. But anyway, there are big adapters and little ones, if you want to think about it like that. Like I said,
What, had
On
you
your phone, not plugging it in the wrong one.
not used the adapter that came with it? Or?
I have.
Well, granted, you probably
I
got
have-
500 of them,
Yeah, I have 10, 15 adapters.
and you can't keep them sorted out.
Not with the device, no, that's next to it. So for example, in my bag, I didn't bring it today, but I have 4 adapters in there. I got my tablet, a tablet in there, my phone, and then I've got my hotspot.
Oh,
So
USB?
each of those
Oh, yeah.
has this,
USB drive.
the same type of connection, and it goes to the USB. But the thing that's coming out of the power supply might need a different one. And again, this is where you have to start reading labels.
Okay, here's the question.
Yeah.
So if that surge protector doesn't label tablet and cell phone, which one do you put them in?
I don't know. That's what you're saying. You're gonna have to figure that out. Go back to my house.
Well,
Or,
okay.
what is this class on?
Right.
Get a multimeter.
Right. You
Well, I thought of this. I even looked at
look at your.
whatever you call it, the transformer thing.
And the
I looked at it.
Instruction book that come with it.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Yeah, the instruction. When all on the field, read the book.
Yeah, I looked at it, but it's, you can barely read it. But I think I saw 2.0 amp.
We're giving a class of multimeters. What you'll do is you take one of these things, get the wires, and measure.
Would that
Or
information
not,
be in
you
the
plug into the USB, it's got wires here, cut this off, so you have the wires, and measure what it is.
Okay, another question. I guess what I'm leading up to is if I get them crossed, am I gonna blow out something or no?
Maybe it takes longer to
Probably
charge.
not.
Not in testing.
You did say something the other day.
If you're within the tolerance, we talked about your range of plus or minus in a lot of things, including mechanics, machine shops. You have a tolerance level. So if you're within the tolerance, you won't blow it up. So if you're way down here, now, when you get to these microcomputers and your Raspberry Pi, your Arduino, they're they're not very tolerance sensitive. So you can put a 7 volt through something that takes 3.5 volt, more than likely, right? You can't overload, that's what he's asking, is he gonna overload the circuit and get a short?
Well, I'm gonna make a comment.
Yeah.
The average person's not even gonna think about it. They're just gonna plug it in. So I'm gonna say it's not gonna blow out anything. However, does one charge the other faster than the other? And you did talk about that the other
Say it
day.
again? I didn't get
Does
it.
one charge a device faster than the other one? You did talk about that.
Well, does it have to do with?
Imagine the two, I would charge more faster,
Yeah, I would think,
volt average.
I think one would be faster.
I think so too.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Too much amperage for something.
Yeah, what's it say on
You
there?
can read that.
Pardon?
You can read that, it's hard.
Well,
It's-
that's the other thing we're talking about too.
Yeah, Robert, I tried to read that. That's hard.
Maybe next month.
Was that for your tablet,
We'll
Robert?
get to it.
Yeah.
The
This
kids-
guy says 2 amps.
The kids today, to me, should be learning how to use a microscope. This type of electronics is no longer done with your eyes, just like doctors are operating they have stereo microscopes. So they're doing the welding now on these things there with a microscope. I have one at home, but it's about my weight as much as I do. It's heavy. And it's gotta be heavy because I'm arms and goes around. But anyway, you use a microscope and you look in, I have to use it to read a lot of this stuff. Most of us grew up with magnifying lenses, right? Hoods, if you did any kind of work at all, you'd have a hood with a magnifying, I can't think what they call them, but anyway, yeah. Some of my instructions that are coming for some of these kits from China, I can't read them with my eyes.
No, I've got magnifying glasses in every room of the house except the bathroom.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm saying that, no, the type is getting small, and equipment too. This robot that we had here a couple weeks ago, it's only this big. It's got all kinds of electronics in there. So anyway, we'll go over some, maybe in the next month we'll go over optics. Because basically, an operating microscope, in medicine we call it an operating microscope. In lab, they call it a stereo microscope. It's where you don't have, light's not coming through. The light comes down, you put your insect here, the light comes down and then goes up, and it's magnified by the lenses here. Anyway.
It looked like 250 MA.
Oh, here's something too, I don't know if you can get this.
I've got it.
Here's a multimeter. Read it, John. Here's one that's for multimeter class. That's putting out USB 2.0.
It says U:5.
It's got four figures there.
0.5 volt.
Okay, wait now.
Says
Got what?
from 100 to 221.
Five?
250.
50 to 60.
Yeah, 5.5 volts.
And A max.
Come A max.
I is what?
A max.
Series.
It's got 0.00 amps, so very low current.
So you can plug it, you can use this.
Power is what?
120 into
0.0 watts, W.
Yeah.
And here's your current, milliamp hours. Current hours.
Yeah.
How would you, and for what purpose do you use that?
You can charge stuff with that.
Well, yeah, you can charge stuff with it, as we just talked about here. If you've got a device that needs something and this is not putting it out, it ain't gonna do it. Or if you're gonna connect this to the Arduino, the microcontroller, you don't wanna put too much power through. So once you start connecting it to other devices, you read what they call the data sheet. And the data sheet will tell you plus or minus what you need. If you exceed that tolerance, you're gonna smell smoke, get hot, something or other.
Like for the repair.
I have a question, Dr. Khan.
3.1.
Anyway, this is.
I have a question. If a receiver is like 120,
What?
120 receiver, you can plug it to 220?
No.
No?
It's 100, a 120 or a 100, and you plug it plugged into a 220 or something like that.
Yeah. you
You're
can-
gonna fry the thunder out of it. That I know.
You shouldn't have to, where do you have 220, 240?
Because I have two different receivers. One is like using
But where do you
20.
have it? In your house?
Yeah.
In a house, you'll only have 240 or 220 where
No, I have a
your washer, your dryer is.
You
I have
You
a
won't have it in
converter.
most, I don't think it's legal to put it in most places in the house, is it?
I bought
You'd be hurting a lot of people. I don't think they would put,
two. And then
would they put 220 in a house?
Yeah, for your stove and your dryer.
Well, yeah,
And
but
your
I'm
water
saying,
heater.
there's sheets, most of those are built in.
Some of your
Amplifier,
air-
it's an amplifier.
Yeah, they do have
Or is
that.
there yet?
Keep moving around.
Yeah, but no, where is your circuit that puts out that volt?
Heater.
It's a 220 and then I plug it, the
It's around
converter.
5
I
threads.
plug it into the wall and then plug the thing
Usually they have
to,
reciprocals
When you plug it
where
in
you
the
can't
wall, it's
plug
gonna be
in.
110.
yeah, 110 to the converter. And it's like the output will be 220.
Well, if you plug in something that takes 220 into 110, it ain't gonna work.
Well, you can't hardly do it
Well,
with the plugs because they're
Depending what you've got.
No,
mismatched.
I have a converter.
I have a friend that, or I had a friend that did
it's the
it.
same within the camper world. You've got 30 amp and what, 50 amp?
30 amp, 50
They have
amp,
different
20
kind of plugs.
But they're all 110.
Pardon?
Most RVs are all 110.
Yeah. But I'm saying the ampage, but the plugs will be different. You'll
Yeah,
have
different plugs.
3 here, and one will be square, or one will be like so. Yeah, I can bring one of those, a sheet next week to show you that. But that gets a little complicated too.
I had a friend years ago who had messed with the wiring in this old
Yeah,
house.
16, or I should say.
And he ended up with 220. Now, I don't know how he did it, but 220 to a regular 110 outlet, which nobody realized until we had this clock radio sitting on top of the refrigerator, and it got smelly in there.
I thought you were gonna say that getting a real long statement.
Well, we finally found where the aroma was coming from, and that little that radio was literally melted. It had changed its shape.
Well, electronics, they teach that. You don't have an alternator, the smell test or the smoke test. It kind of tells you where you're at with something. If you smell smoke or you, whatever, you turn it off.
He was
It says
upset
it'll melt away.
for a month trying to figure out who he could blame for that, because he's one of these people that never made a mistake.
Okay, any other questions? next month, we're gonna talk about sound.